All right. So, hello, welcome. I am super excited to be starting off 2023 with the Black Business Connectors. Yes, snap. The Black Business Connectors featured entrepreneur, Flora Quick. So, I'm going to share a little bit about her, and then she's going to add in all the other interesting, juicy details about herself and her business. So, Flora is a career coach, she is an author, and she is a counselor. As a businesswoman, she's the founder and CEO of Quick Resume Career Services, and she helps people do all sorts of things, including building their resumes, their career letters, getting those important interview skills honed, different communication styles so people are comfortable with that, and supporting her clients with showcasing their interpersonal strengths so that they can get those job offers quicker, right? And I love that, like, quick, your last name's quick, and you can get quick results for people. It's so cool to me. So yes, tell the world a little bit more about yourself and your business.
Hi, Beth. Welcome to 2023.
Yes. Here we
Thank
are.
you for yes, we made it. We made it. We're cool. We're doing business. We're healthy.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. Thank you for having me. This is my first interview of the year, so I know that I'm in the right path.
Yes. Start the year out strong.
Yes, we are. A little bit about me. On a professional level, I am a counselor by training. I have experience working in the human services, higher education, but my passion really is to be a life changer, where I help my clients with the journey of job search, career changing. As we know from my own experience, going through that is really a lot. It could be very stressful for a lot of people because you have no idea what is required, what you need to do, what you need to say, sometimes even how we need to dress, how we need to act when we go to an interview. So I take my job, my passion very seriously. I really take pride in my ability to connect with my clients, to help them get to see who they really are as an employee and sometimes even as an entrepreneur, and to help them see the value that they bring to the employer. Because sometimes when we go through that, whether sometimes we get let go from a job and that affects our self-esteem.
Yeah.
And we start doing a lot of self-questioning. Am I good enough? Did I give it my best? And I help my clients see that you are more than enough for any employer, and they'll be lucky to have you. And if they decide not to, that's on them. That's not on you, right?
Yeah.
Just help them see the value that they bring. That I take pride in that. I often tell my clients that we go on a journey and we are in a car. So it's like going on a road trip. Sometimes they driving, sometimes I'm driving, sometimes we're just sitting in the car, just chilling, just deciding what the next step is going to be. That's just a little bit about me, professionally speaking. I've been in business for over 10 years. I love what I do. I could work on a resume at 3 o'clock in the morning and I still have energy to keep going.
That is a sign you're in the right field. Yes.
I believe so. I believe I'm in the right field.
Yes. I love the car analogy of, like, sometimes you're the driver because they kind of know their own skills or whatever. You have to get to know them, and then you help them, like, reword it and maybe rebrand themselves and, like, pull out really the value. Sometimes we are too close to ourselves and we need someone else to help see what needs to be highlighted. Yeah.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
then
Sometimes
sometimes it's
we
just
don't.
sitting.
Go ahead.
No, that's it. And sometimes it's just sitting and regrouping. I'm sorry, you were saying.
Yeah, I totally agree with you. When I give my clients an analogy, I want them to feel that they have some type of say, they have power. It's
Mm-hmm.
not just I'm the career coach and they're gonna do everything I say. No, this is your journey. I'm here with you to help you pack. I'm here to put gas in the car. I'm here to say, okay, I think we're going in the right direction, but let's check the map because the map is your goal. Where do you want to go? Let's make sure that we are on the right highway, the right street, that we are taking the necessary steps to get where you want to go. And my job is to say, oh, you want to go there. Okay, so let's talk about how we're going to get there, why you want to get there, and how do you prepare to get there. So sometimes I'm the one driving because for example, when I'm doing the resumes, I'm driving for that few hours because I'm working with the information that they gave me. So the information that they gave me at that moment, they drive it. They giving me information and I'm in the back, I'm in the passenger seat just taking notes. And then I come back and say, okay, now let me drive. This is how we're going to do it based on the information that you gave me. So when I give that analysis to my clients, they're like, oh, okay, that makes sense. That makes sense. Because I want them to feel that we are on the same page. We are in the same journey. You're not going through this alone.
Yeah. And that's important because it can be overwhelming, even just like looking by yourself through LinkedIn for job postings or whatever. Sometimes you just need someone to help you know, like, no, maybe don't reach out to HR, maybe reach out to the marketing team for whatever reason, like, I don't know, I just made that up. But, like you're giving them like new insights and helping them figure out where the best strategy is for them. Yeah.
Definitely. It really, my goal is to really make sure that at every point of the journey, my clients feel they build their confidence a little bit more. Yeah. And if they didn't feel comfortable asking questions yesterday after we talk and we are doing our coaching session, they'll feel comfortable asking questions during the interview process that maybe they didn't think about asking before, but that question made a difference in whether they accept the job or not, or whether they get a raise or they get a perk that they might need or might want. So it's helping them build that confidence that they already have it inside them. I'm just helping them pull it out a little bit more and then kind of phrase it and package it in a nice way to deliver it to the prospective employers. That's all I do.
Yes, I love it. So I'm curious, obviously you're getting your inspiration from your clients, right? And the information they provide you with, but are there other areas that as a businesswoman or even as a career coach in general, or you're also an author, you have several different avenues you work on. Where else do you get your inspiration from?
I definitely get my inspiration from some of my colleagues because I see the passion that they have in what they do and some of the feedback that they give me. And of course, as a Christian, my inspiration comes foremost from God and from the word, reading the word and just praying and seeing the results and listening to that little voice that tells me, you're doing the right thing, or that voice that tells me, maybe you need to tweak this a little bit more. So listening to that voice, looking around me and just really reading certain books and being part of certain communities where I am encouraged, where I am told, where I am guided and constantly hearing the good things that you're doing, right? Because we need to hear that. We don't like to say, I want to hear, we need that pat on the back from somebody else.
Yes, we do. Yes.
So it's important when I'm in a group with you, when we're doing the book club, when we are meeting, that, when people say, oh, this is good, or when a resource, or this person gave me something that I'm going to be able to use, that inspires me. And of course, like you said earlier, my clients, that's my biggest inspiration. When my clients are satisfied, I think as a business, whether you're small, big, somewhere in between, if your clients are satisfied, then that means that you're in the right path. Of course, not every client is going to be satisfied 100% of the time, but if most of your clients are satisfied and they come back to you and tell you that is kind of the oil that you need to really, that's the gasoline to your car.
Yes, the gasoline to your car. The fuel
to
keep going.
Yeah, that's the fuel. Yeah, that's the fuel to keep going and know that you are in the right path. That's what I get my inspiration from. That's what keeps me going. Like, okay, I'm doing a good thing and I'm doing the right thing and I'm the right path and I'm helping people.
Yeah, I think a lot of times people, when they hire a mentor, they hire a coach, they might think that that person is like all knowing or like above them or something, and it's wrong. And you just said something like important, that like you're also always learning and you're also always needing to get into communities just like they do. And I think also sometimes people are like, oh, well, once I land this job, I'll be all set in life. But then they land that dream position that you helped them get to. And now they're maybe going to need either more guidance from you or from someone else, like on maintaining it and even going further, right? It's just like a constant process.
It is a constant process. And you're right. A lot of people feel that, oh, once I get this job, I'll be set. You might be set. You might be content maybe the first 3 to 6 months because it's new. It's you're in the honeymoon stage of the job. You're learning how it goes. You're in the training process. All your questions are going to be answered. A lot of people are there to support you. Well, that's the expectation anyway. And the first 3 to 6 months, you feel like, okay, I'm good. But then after that, like reality sinks in and you're like, oh, wait a second. So that's why it's important that you have someone support. What I do with my clients, the first 3 months, if they have any issues with work, if they want to talk to me, they are more than welcome to reach out. Like I have a client that I follow up the first 3 months of her job because she had just been laid off after being 15 years on the same job. When she got her next job, I will check in with her every month, like, hey, how are you? How are things going? And even now, we just had lunch maybe 2, 3 weeks ago, just to check in to see how things are going. It's not, once you get a new job, that's a new phase, that's a new journey. Now you have to really pack to go on that journey of getting that job, getting to know people, doing things. And a lot of people feel that once you get the job, you should stop learning. No, you need to constantly read. You need to follow certain people who are in your industry. You need to be part of a bigger community. You need to be part of other communities. You need to join a book club. You need to have a prayer group. You need to have that support because it is important that you have that support throughout that journey.
Yeah. Yeah. And that's how people know, or that's like a testimony that you just gave on yourself of how you're an amazing coach, because you didn't have to do that. You didn't have to follow up probably with your client after she left and have lunch with her to check in to see how she was doing. You know what I'm saying? Like that's going above and beyond what other coaches do.
I try to go above and beyond with my clients when they want it. I don't push it, but I make that part of like the initial conversation. If during this time this has not happened, you could reach out to me and we're gonna see where we at. And that's part of the service that I offer. I think to me as a counselor, it is important that my clients get that connection, that they understand that yes, I got the job that I wanted, but the first 3 to 6 months are very challenging in anything that we do in life. So I still have this person support, this coach support. I could call Flora, I could text her, and we could meet out for lunch. I have clients that call me years later, like, hey, Flora, I left that job, I went someplace else, and now I have this question. Okay, let's meet up.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, support is extremely important, whatever you do.
Yeah.
Excuse me.
But how do you, with it all, because I also know you a little bit personally, and I know you have a family. I know you have a daughter who you're very devoted to, and you just have a life, and you have your business, and then you have your clients who you follow up with. How do you make sure you also take time for yourself? Because you're saying like you love your job so much too that you could be up at 3 o'clock in the morning happily working on someone's resume. But if you were up at 3 a.m. every morning working on someone's resume, that'd be burnout, right?
That is true. That is true.
Yeah.
And I'm not working 3 o'clock in the morning every night. It all depends on what's going on with my client and what else I have going on in my personal life. I do have a family. I have a daughter who is my whole world, part of my whole world, my biggest piece of the world. I have siblings. I have tons of friends that I hang with. And one thing that I make sure that I do is to pray. As a Christian, that's my go to every morning and throughout the day and every night before I go to bed. I also read some self-help books, and a lot of people think, oh, self-help is more personal and professional development. Try to get to know myself better, try to get to know how I work, how others work, how the world works around me so that I could understand it better, so that I could explain it better and talk and guide my clients through it. I also exercise whenever I get a chance. I do acupuncture. That helps me to
Oh, that sounds nice. Yes.
And one thing that I learned to do, especially when I find myself like in those moments, is to walk away and say it is okay for me to walk away. And I'm going to walk away for the next 2 hours. I'm going to sit and watch a comedy. I'm going to go to the park and take a walk. I'm going to talk to a friend of mine, someone that I know is going to talk me, like I said, talk me off the ledge. So I prioritize my mental, physical, and emotional health, because if I don't do that, then I'm going to be burned out and I won't be able to be the best for my daughter, for my partner, for my friends, and especially for my clients, because of the business that I'm in is very energy consuming.
Mm-hmm.
So I have to make sure that my energy jar is full.
Yeah.
And I'm going to do that by making sure that I take care of myself.
Yeah. I like that. You just walk away. Sometimes we get stuck and we're like, no, I'm just going to push through this. I'm just going to get this done. I know I'm like that sometimes. And I just, no, it just has to be done. But sometimes just leaving it.
Just walk away. Just
Yeah.
walk away. What we are doing is important, but 99.99% of the time it's not urgent.
Right.
So it is okay. Like when I get stuck, when I'm writing a resume and I have all my resources and everything that I'm doing, and I see a picture in my head, but I'm not able to put that picture on paper, I just say, you know what? I'm going to walk away for an hour. I'm going to go and do something else. And sometimes I just go and sit down and watch Netflix. And when I come back to that, because that's part of my self-care, when I come back, that idea that was simmering somewhere in my brain, now it's a lot closer to coming out and me be able to put it on paper and now see the result of that thought. But because I said, I'm going to walk away, let that thought just simmer there. Now the thought is saying, okay, I'm coming out.
Yeah. You said something really important. Knowing the difference between what's important and what's urgent. And I think sometimes as business owners, we're like, this is urgent and that's urgent. And then the next, or even people who are not business owners, but like maybe the CEO of a Fortune 5, like not everything is urgent. I was in education. I taught for 20 years. Not everything is urgent, but they will have teachers running around like it's all urgent all day long. And it's just not. And knowing when it is and isn't.
We have to learn that. If I was doing heart surgery, brain surgery, that will be important and urgent because someone's life depends on that, right? I'm not doing any of those things. So everything that I do is very important to me. And there are times that things are urgent. Like yesterday, I got a call from one of my clients that I'm working with. She's like, oh, there's this job that I want to submit my resume to, and I just send you the information and I need that like ASAP. I said, okay, that's fine. I'm with another client right now. And because I know that's very important to you, I'm going to work on it when I get home. And I worked on it until like 10:30 at night. And it was urgent and it was important. But even then, there were other things that I needed to take care of before I took care of that. So it's like, okay, yes, it is urgent, it's important, and it's going to be handled. But I'm not going to drop absolutely everything that I'm doing right this moment. I can't. But it was addressed, and whatever she needed, it was done. So we have to know the difference of what is important, what is urgent. Everything that we do is important, but not everything is urgent. And it's important that we know that and then decide, I could walk away from this and be okay.
I love it. Oh, this is so good.
It is.
Not everything is urgent. Yes.
Not everything is urgent. Nope.
So what do you feel has been, as a businesswoman, the most important factor in your success overall?
A few things. To be successful, you have to have discipline. And sometimes that's very challenging. You have to go through the process. I know sometimes I get so desperate, I just really walk away from everything. Say, I'm not doing this anymore because I'm looking at the end result.
Yeah.
I feel like I'm in the tunnel and all I see is the light at the end of the tunnel. And sometimes I'll go back to where I'm at in the tunnel and say, wait, I'm here. I'm at the beginning of this tunnel. I see the light at the end. But in order for me to get there, I have to go through it because the light is not coming to me. So it's just have the discipline to go through the process, stick to it, and really look at the result that you're getting. Because you're either providing a service or providing a product. What is the result that you're getting with that product and that service? What is the feedback that you're getting from the people that you're servicing? Because people are always going to have opinions, but at the end of the day, you have to have, if you know that what you have is good and is needed, of course you can make changes to it. But if you know if you have discipline, if you're secure in what you're doing, you're going to be, eventually you'll be okay. But you have to have discipline. You have to be willing to go through the process. To also know that this is a very, very lonely world. Sometimes you feel like you're the only one going through it. You're not. So it's also important that we learn to ask for help and accept that help. And that help sometimes comes in the way of a phone call. Sometimes comes in the way of an idea. Like when you and I were speaking yesterday, I have this thing that I wanted to do for my client. I'm like, where do I go? And your name just popped. I'm like, oh my God, I've had the answer all along. Be willing to say, I'm not able to provide, I'm not the all for my clients. I'm not the alpha and the omega for my clients. I need to use one of my resources. I need to use one of my colleagues. That is okay to do that. That makes it easier on you, makes it easier on your clients, and you build that rapport with your colleague where you're able to really lean on each other and really collaborate on projects and just be successful together.
Yeah. Sometimes I think we're like insecure and we're thinking, oh, well, if I bring in another resource outside of my business, my client's going to think that I'm not qualified. But really all it is showing is that you as a businesswoman or someone else as a businesswoman or man, like really has like a network of different resources they can tap into. And that actually is a strength. We don't have to worry about like being ashamed that like none of us, like you said, none of us are like the alpha and omega. We're not, and we're not meant to be. That'd be exhausting. So delegating.
Definitely delegating and really creating that network of people that you can trust. And yeah, sometimes when I was starting my business, that's how I felt like I needed to be the alpha and the omega for my clients. I needed to be the all. And I'm like, wait a second, I'm not a photographer.
No.
Know how to take pictures. I mean, I know, but that's not my expertise. My expertise is job coach, resume writing, guiding my clients. I don't know how to take pictures. I don't know how to tell my clients how to do this or how to do that. And that is okay. That's why we network. That's why we create that bubble around us so that when our clients need something, you can say, you know what, let me connect you with one of my colleagues. I have clients that they need a resume. I said, I'm not going to work with you because this is my experience. This is where I want to work. These are the type of clients that I'm looking for, and you're out of that. And yes, I could work with you, but you're not going to get as much as you need. So I'm going to refer you to one of my colleagues. That doesn't mean that I'm not good at what I do. This is out of my scope, and it is okay for us to admit that to ourselves and to others. We're not supposed to be the beginning and the end for whatever we do. We can't. That will be physically, emotionally, and financially exhausting.
Yeah. It would take away from our self-care. Yeah. If someone wants a photograph, their baby photograph, their newborn, I'm like, I'm not the one. I don't do newborns. Yeah. I mean, we're not like jack of all trades, so to speak. We're experts in certain areas. Yeah. And that also builds cooperative economics because I'm like, well, I can't, but now another photographer has that opportunity to earn money photographing that cute, adorable little newborn, or whatever it is. Yeah. So we're all like working and building together.
Of course. And corporate economic is a great way to put it in terms of how we are going to be able to build each other's worth. And we could collaborate. Like you said, you're a photographer. So if there's a project that you feel is too much or you don't feel comfortable taking, it is okay for you to say, you know what, that's not really what I want to do. For whatever reason, I don't really want to take pictures of babies. They're crying, they are not, whatever the case might be, right? But there might be other people who love taking pictures of babies. So let that person do that. And next time that person has someone or an event that they don't feel comfortable doing, they say, you know what, let me contact Beth. Let me connect her with this person. And there you go. Now you have created that network and you are just really working together. And that is a beautiful thing.
Yeah, it is. That's great how we can all like work together. So I'm curious, because you said you've been in business for 10 years now. So what does the next level of success look like for you?
My next level of success is a couple of things. I've been really writing resume for about 10 years, and I decided to not just write resume, but also to that add career coaching, because I realized that just giving you a resume and sending you on your way, I wasn't satisfied with that. I'm like, no, I
Mm.
want to talk to you. I want to find out why you want this resume, all these things that kind of make it so more interesting. So I started then doing cover letters, and I started adding things to my services. Now, the next thing that I want to do, and I find that it's coming a lot my way, is to start writing bios, which is something that I really didn't do before. And now it seems like a lot of people are asking for them. And I'm like, you know what? I think that's going to be part of my next repertoire of services. And also some small businesses, like I'm working with someone right now that I did her resume and cover letter a few months ago. She came back for a bio. And then this morning she's like, oh, my manager wants me to write a cover letter, not a cover letter. She wants me to write a newsletter, but she has no idea how to do that. So she's like, oh, I don't know what to do. I just want to write 2 paragraphs, but I still don't know how to put, she has the information in her brain. So I'm like, you know what? That's going to be part of my, what I'm doing next, to add the bios and the newsletter to especially small businesses or people that work for a small non-profit, excuse me, for profit, who need to have a newsletter.
Yeah.
So those are two services that I want to add, but I also want to do, I like to volunteer a lot.
I'm
And
sorry, say
I
that
like to
again.
volunteer. I
Oh,
believe in
volunteer.
community.
Yes.
Yeah, I believe in community engagement. So I want to do a lot more of that. I was doing that before the pandemic. So I want to get back into that. I used to volunteer at my church as a career coach, and I used to do workshops for the youth before the summer. So I want to get back into that, because there's a satisfaction that you get from just helping others see something, see themselves in a different, more positive light. So I want to go back to doing that as well.
Yeah, because the schools are not teaching that. The kids
They
are
not.
like, my students would sometimes come to me and say, I want a part-time job. I'm 16. I can now, I've got all my documents, everything. And how do I get a job? Because it's not really being taught. And so I love that you were
Yeah.
doing and want to go back to doing that, because they want to. The kids have all this energy. You have so much energy. It's amazing.
Yeah, they do have a lot of energy.
Amazing.
I collaborated with the Department of Education in New York City, and I do workshops with them. I've been doing that since 2021.
Okay.
Actually did a couple during the pandemic, right before everything shut down. And then we continued last year, and I'm hoping to continue this year. But unfortunately, for some of the schools, because of the needs that they might have the budget for the college and career readiness portion, but they have to use that budget for something else, which then takes away from the students
Right. Yeah.
getting the services that they are going to need. So I'm hoping that to continue that, but also to volunteer in some probably a local church or non-for-profit, just helping the youth kind of transition from high school to college and from college to the workforce, because it could be a challenge for a lot of people.
It's hard. Yeah. Especially if you want it and you just don't know how to do it. And you've been told for 12 years, this is so important. And then let's stick to business. All right. But I
We could
love
be here
that
all
you're
day talking about
volunteering. And,
that.
and it is something, someone listening to this, right? Once this is live on YouTube, might be like, oh my gosh, I have that similar passion. And maybe it could ignite other people's business ideas, because
That
there's
would be
only one
great.
of you and there's millions of youth, right?
Yes.
There's like
Yeah.
youth in California, youth in Texas, youth in Maine, right? All over. You can't be everywhere.
No, I cannot be everywhere. And if someone who's listening to this has a question about the information that I provided, please do feel free to reach out. I'm more than happy to have a conversation and just explain and maybe even help you get started in whatever you want to do that is related to career services.
Yes, yes. So what do you feel is the secret sauce in general that entrepreneurs miss?
Um, I think part of the secret sauce is I believe that we could do it all.
Ah,
Yeah. And another part of that is the refusal to admit that we need help and actually asking for the help, accepting that help, and sometimes incorporating that help into whatever we are doing. We think that we are the ed, we are the marketing, we are the accountant, we are the social media manager, we are the customer service rep, we are the people that if we have interns or we have volunteers, have to take care of the payroll, we have to interview, we have so many roles. And a lot of times we could delegate that to somebody else. Like sometimes I use my daughter when I have workshops. I'm like, okay, I need to sit in this workshop and take care of the chat. I need to sit in this workshop. I need to write this resume because she also does that. I need to write this resume for a college student or for a high school student. And she'll help me with that. But at first it was very hard for me. And I have a resource right in my house. And I refused. At first I was like, I could do this. Oh, I got it. I'm Wonder Woman. I could do this. Then I realized that I am a Wonder of a woman, but I am not Wonder Woman.
Right.
So just learning, saying to yourself that you need help when you do need it, and then asking for it, accepting that help. And if you could use that help, then incorporating that help into whatever plan you have, and knowing that you are an expert in your field, but you could always use another set of eyes and ears.
Yeah, that different perspective is definitely helpful. And sometimes also, I think as business owners, we're reluctant to spend the money to hire someone to do like X, Y, or Z task because it's going to cost us money, but it's costing us money to do everything. So while I'm working on something that I hate and I'm only semi good at, I could hire someone else who's excellent. So they're going to present me that way and be out like making new connections, possibly for new client with new, you know, so sometimes trying to be Wonder Woman or Superman
doesn't work.
It actually costs us money.
Yeah, it does. I read a story a few months ago of a gentleman, a shoemaker, Italian shoemaker, who was really, really good at making shoes, right? He made beautiful, amazing shoes. However, his business was not successful because he made the shoes. He had the shoes there and he had some clients that came to get the shoes, but he wasn't really able to get out there. When it came to getting payments back from the people who said, I'll pay you next week, or collecting money or doing certain things, he was not able to do that.
Yeah.
So he made a decision to get someone to help him, and he got a business partner. Now he was able to take care of the creative part, which was to create, build, make the shoes from scratch. And the business partner was able to market and collect payment. His business went from making maybe 20% to making 150%, like in about a year.
Nice. Yeah.
And that's what we have to do with our businesses. Excuse me. We have to really say to ourselves, I'm an expert in this. I'm not quite an expert in this. Like some of us are not really good at networking. Then partner with someone when you go to networking events.
Yeah.
Find a way to present your information in a way that you're still putting your name out there, but you're not really out of your comfort zone, and you're still getting the results that you want. So it's important to know, where do I need help? How do I go about it? And why do I need this help? And getting it, because that's going to help you be successful in your business.
Yes. So we've had all these really great conversation pieces, but we haven't talked about how people can connect with you to hire you as a career coach, or even to just have you help them writing their monthly or bi-monthly newsletters for their businesses and whatever else they need. So how do people connect with you?
People can connect with me through Instagram, Quick Resume Career Services, Facebook, the same thing, LinkedIn, Quick Resume Career Services, and I'm always more than happy to have a conversation with people. You could email me at floracoaches16@gmail.com. floracoaches16@gmail.com. You could send me an email if you have a question about a resume, if you want to transition from the job that you are in to something else, if you're a college student trying to figure out your next step, if you need to have do an assessment to figure out, where do I go from here? Sometimes we have that underlying passion that desire to do something, but we don't know what it is. And sometimes an assessment can help you. So if you have questions about that, I could also help you with that. So floracoaches16@gmail.com, and IG social media. My social media handle is Quick Resume Career Services.
Nice. I love it. So thank you so much for your time. Thank you for your insight. Before we end, do you have any last thoughts or tips or encouragement or anything you would like to share?
A lot of tips. One of them is there's always a better job out there for you. Okay. And you want to be in a place that you feel comfortable. And companies will have you believe that, yes, we want you to feel comfortable here. Is where you feel comfortable, that's what really matters. Because if you feel comfortable, then you are going to give it your best. Then you're going to make that work for you. And if it's not working for you, it is also okay to move on.
Yeah. Yeah. It is okay to move on.
It is okay.
Not have to be a lifetime commitment. People did that back in the day and we're miserable, right? Like our parents or grandparents would work the same place for 40 years and exist.
Companies were loyal to employees back
but there
in the
was
days.
Company loyalty to employees
Yes.
as well.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Now companies, if we are honest, they do have a lot of perks, but they're not loyal to employees anymore. No. They will let you go quick, fast, and in a hurry. And something that we need to keep in mind, this is probably another conversation. New York State is an at-will employment state. The same way they have the right to let you go within a minute's notice, you reserve the right to quit within a minute's notice. So it's your choice. Why be unhappy? Yes, we have things that we need to take care of, but create a plan that's going to help you get out of that and into the situation that you will feel more comfortable in.
Yes, live the life you want, like design your life, and you can help them design their life, or at least their professional part. Yes.
Yep. Yep. I could definitely help you design your professional life. Yep. And meet the goals that you want to meet.
Yes. I love it. So thank you again, Flora. And I'm going to put in your bio and the links and everything underneath this video. I'll put all your contact info so that people, you just have to click on the link and connect with her. So, all
awesome.
right. Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you. Have a good one.
You too, Beth. See you later.
Thank you. See you.